U.S. imposes export bans on 2 Chinese companies using forced labor. BlackRock, MSCI under congressional investigation for facilitating investments in Chinese firms. Xi's new book reveals his 2 obsessions as head of the CCP. Articles inadvertently expose the significant income of the Red Cross Society of China's employees. The U.S. has imposed export bans on 2 Chinese companies for using forced labor in their production processes. On August 1st, the Department of Homeland Security, or DHS, announced sanctions against Camel Group Co., Ltd., a prominent lead-acid battery manufacturer in China, and food additive company Chengguang Biotech Group Co., for utilizing forced Uyghur labor in Xinjiang province. These actions are part of the DHS's efforts to hold China accountable for the reported ongoing genocide and crimes against humanity, targeting the Uyghurs, a Muslim minority in Xinjiang. In a statement, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said, "Today's enforcement actions demonstrate the Biden-Harris administration's commitment to holding organizations accountable for their egregious human rights abuses and forced labor practices." He stated, "We will continue to work with all of our partners to keep goods made with forced labor from Xinjiang out of U.S. commerce, while facilitating the flow of legitimate trade." To date, 24 Chinese companies have faced sanctions due to their involvement in forced labor practices under the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, or UFLPA, enacted in 2021. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection, or CBP, Commissioner has reviewed over 4,600 shipments, valued at over $1.64 billion since 2022 under the Act. Chair of the Forced Labor Enforcement Task Force, Undersecretary for Policy Robert Silvers, emphasized the U.S.'s commitment to combat forced labor globally. He stated, "The Forced Labor Enforcement Task Force continues to send a strong message to industry that the United States will not tolerate forced labor in our supply chains, and that we will always stand up against cruel and inhumane labor practices. We are committed to the eradication of forced labor around the world." The House of Representatives Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, is investigating asset management firm BlackRock and index provider MSCI, alleging that these firms facilitated investments into blacklisted Chinese companies. According to the Wall Street Journal, in letters on July 31st, the panel expressed concerns that BlackRock and MSCI's activities funnel American capital into more than 60 Chinese companies, flagged by U.S. agencies for security or human rights reasons. Although these activities are not illegal, the committee contends that they exacerbate national security threats and undermine American values. The investigation revealed that BlackRock had invested over $429 million from 5 funds in such companies. The company manages over $9 trillion in assets and handles investments for millions of Americans. The committee is expanding its focus by examining asset managers and index compilers like BlackRock and MSCI, even though they may not directly involve Chinese companies in their portfolios or indexes. However, their role in directing substantial amounts of Americans' retirement savings into these companies is considered crucial and a cause for concern. Established this year, the Select Committee on China aims to address the role of U.S. companies and financial institutions in contributing to China's rise. While the committee does not write legislation, it makes policy recommendations and possesses the authority to subpoena executives and officials, which it still needs to do. Representative Mike Gallagher, the committee's Republican chair, has previously stated his intention to issue subpoenas for executives who fail to cooperate with their investigations. In addition to the current probe into BlackRock and MSCI, the committee launched an investigation in July focusing on U.S. venture capital firms that fund Chinese artificial intelligence, semiconductor, and quantum computing startups. People's Publishing House published a new book by the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP's General Secretary Xi Jinping, in early July. According to Bitter Winter's report on August 1st, the book, General Secretary Xi Jinping's Important Thoughts on Cyber Development, gathers speeches and documents from Xi related to the internet, The book divides Xi's thoughts on the internet into 10 themes. Among them, 2 clearly show Xi's obsessions. For the first topic, Xi wonders that while China is an economic superpower, the internet's development is still primarily determined and controlled by the West. In the second one, Xi raises the question of how the Chinese regime can control the internet. Bitter Winter argued that Xi is concerned that the CCP cannot fully control what Chinese people put on social media. Fearing the loss of absolute power in China, the CCP has done everything to control the people's thoughts. The purpose is to force the Chinese people to believe in its propaganda. All popular social networking platforms worldwide, such as Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, are banned by the CCP in China. Chinese people must use social networks controlled by the CCP, such as Weibo. Censors will immediately delete posts if they don't follow the CCP's directions. The credibility of Chinese charities has faced scrutiny following the philanthropic scandal involving Guo Meimei. Recently, a Chinese media outlet disclosed that Chinese Red Cross employees received an annual salary and per capita benefits totaling over $60,000, or 435,000 yuan, which caused a stir among the public. On July 26th, a media outlet published an article stating, "The China Red Cross Association reveals that its employees' salary and benefits amount to 435,000 yuan per capita." This article intended to promote the Red Cross and its history of assisting disaster victims, but it inadvertently revealed sensitive information that Chinese charities prefer to keep undisclosed. The article revealed that the Chinese Red Cross Society's expenses, including basic salary, allowance, bonus, and food allowance, amount to over $3.6 million for its 10 employees. However, an official website investigation showed that the Red Cross Society of China employs 60 state employees, each receiving about $60,000. Furthermore, the China Red Cross Association allocates $312,000 annually for employee housing funds, and incurs $16.6 million yearly for property costs. Comparing these expenditures with goods and services expenditure of about $1 million, it becomes evident that spending on wages and benefits significantly surpasses other expenses. Additional data indicated that the total base expenditure of the Red Cross in 2023 amounts to $5 million, with an average spending of about $60,000. Due to the controversy generated by the published article, the authorities promptly took it down. Chinese netizens have engaged in extensive discussions on this issue. Some individuals commented, "I want to know how many resources they have created and how many useful things they have done," while others questioned the international recognition of the Red Cross Society of China, claiming it is not acknowledged globally. According to public information, the Red Cross Society of China operates as a charity organization under the guidance of the State Council of China. It is not affiliated with the International Committee of the Red Cross. Since 2000, the Red Cross Society of China has encountered challenges in its reform and development, leading to several adverse incidents. Significantly, during the 2008 Sichuan earthquake, the Red Cross Society of China raised a large sum of money, but suspicions are that the donations were embezzled. These incidents include providing luxurious food and drinks to the Shanghai Bay Area Red Cross in 2011, Guo Meimei's ostentatious display of wealth through charity work, delays in donations for a girl with endometrial stromal cancer in Shanxi province, and leaders of the General Assembly were allocated 2 luxury cars each for distributing donation materials during the Wuhan outbreak. Such events have raised questions about the trustworthiness of official Chinese government charities, leading to a significant decline in social donations.